Today's topic is respiration. In nutrition lesson, at the end of the photosynthesis, glucose is formed. Glucose. C6, H12, O6. So glucose is the energy currency. That means it has the energy. All living things use this glucose to carry out their life process. So how do the energy stored in the glucose release? The process involved in that action is respiration process. Understand? In every living things, energy release by the respiration process. So let us discuss in detail about this process. So respiration is a process of producing energy from glucose in presence of oxygen to produce the carbon dioxide and water along with energy. But it's not occur in a single step in living things. There are various steps involved, various chemical actions also involved. Let us see that in brief. For respiration, one gas is required. Do you know what is that? Oxygen. Why? Because to release energy from glucose, oxygen is required. And where this energy releasing from glucose takes place? In the cell. In the cell, mitochondria plays important role. So for process of respiration, the glucose and oxygen should reach the every cell in the body. How do glucose reach? Already we discussed in nutrition topic. The digested glucose absorbed into blood carry that glucose to every cell. Now oxygen. How do oxygen reach the cell? Let us see that. From atmosphere first. The oxygen enter into the lungs. And from lungs, the oxygen enter into the blood. And the blood carries this oxygen to the cells. I told you in the process of respiration, carbon dioxide also produced. Carbon dioxide is a harmful gas that should be eliminated from the body. So in the same pathway from the cells, the oxygen enters the atmosphere. So here there is a gaseous exchange at various parts. First between the atmosphere and lungs. Oxygen enters the lungs, the carbon dioxide present in the lungs enter the atmosphere. Next, gases exchange between the lungs and blood. The oxygen present in the lungs enter the blood. The carbon dioxide present in the blood enter the lungs. Next level, the gases exchange between blood and cells. The oxygen present in the blood enter the cell. The carbon dioxide present in the cells enter the blood. So various steps are involved. Here whenever the oxygen enters the lungs, from lungs it enters the blood. Blood transports that oxygen to every cell. So what happens to this oxygen when it reaches the cell? The oxygen involved in the production of energy from glucose. So that respiration takes place in cells is called cellular respiration. Let us discuss about each step in detail. First of all, let us see how the air move into the lungs and how the carbon dioxide move out of lungs into atmosphere. So to know this pathway of air into lungs from atmosphere, you have to know what are the parts involved in that process. See, our nose has two holes, right? What are they? Nostrils. They are called nostrils. Now, the nostrils later lead into the cavity that is called nasal cavity. You should know something about this nasal cavity. The walls of this nasal cavity are lined with a slimy substance that is mucus. Mucus. So the walls of the nasal cavity lined with mucus. It's a slimy substance. And the walls of nasal cavity lined with small hairs also. Hairs. And the next part, the nasal cavity leads to another part, that is the pharynx. Pharynx. Now pharynx leads to another part, that is the larynx. Larynx leads to another part, that is windpipe or trachea. See, this trachea now move downward and divide into two branches called as bronchus. Bronchus. Now each bronchus divided into small branches called bronchioles. And each bronchiole finally enter into a cluster of sac-like structures called alveoli. These are alveoli. The walls of the alveoli covered with the blood capillaries. That means which supply the blood. So these are the parts. Let us see how the air move atmosphere to alveoli and blood. First it enter into the body through nostrils. Next, nasal cavity. In the nasal cavity, filtration of air takes place. That means the air we breathe in have some unwanted particles, dirt particles that should be filtered. The small hair-like structures and mucus grab that particles and filter. Another thing is the air temperature that we breathe in brought to the body temperature. So how means the mucus bring the air temperature close to body temperature, and air become moist. Air become moist. So warming and moistening of the air takes place in the nasal cavity. This moistening of air is very important. If the dry air reaches the lungs may collapse. The air that reaches the lungs should moist and it should warm. Warm means the temperature should close to the body temperature. So the warm and moist air now enter to the next part, that is the pharynx. You should know about here pharynx. Pharynx is a common passage to both food pipe and windpipe. This is the windpipe, beside that food pipe. We learn in nutrition. That also called as esophagus. So pharynx is a common passage to these pipes. So since it is common, the food may enter into the windpipe. If the food enters the windpipe, it is harmful to the organism. To avoid the entry of food into the windpipe, at the pharynx there is a muscular structure which will work like a valve, that is epiglottis. What is that? Epiglottis. So epiglottis control the movement of food and air into their respective passages. From pharynx, the air next move towards next part, that is larynx. Larynx means voice box. That means where the sound is produced in our body. Okay. So the larynx consists of muscles which produce the sound called as vocal cords. Vocal cords. So whenever the air comes out from the lungs, that passes over this vocal cord and it vibrates the vocal cords, then sound is produced. Try to speak by inhaling gas. Try. Is it possible? No. It's not possible to speak by taking air. It's during exhalation only speaking is possible. Okay? Exhalation means breathing out. Breathing in is called inhalation. Inhalation. So sound is produced during exhalation only. Okay, next part is a trachea. See this one. You can feel your trachea. Press here, press in the throat. You can feel a pipe, right? That is called trachea or windpipe. That is protected by C-shaped rings. Those rings protect the trachea from being collapsed. Understood? Now the trachea divided into two branches called bronchus. Now the two bronchus finally divide into a very small branches called bronchioles. Understood? The bronchioles finally terminate into small satellite structures which are numerous in number. They are called as alveoli or air sacs. Alveoli. These are the structural and functional unit of the lungs. They are very numerous in number. Size is small. And the wall of each alveoli lined with a single layer of epithelial cell. So the final air enters to the alveoli. From alveoli, it enters to the blood which present in the blood capillaries that surrounded the alveoli. So this is the pathway of air. Here let us focus on the role of epiglottis in the breathing, in the respiration process. Okay, once let us focus on the role of epiglottis. Epiglottis in the respiration process. You know, epiglottis present at the pharynx region, which is a common passage for food and air. Here you observe the pictures. This is the esophagus, food pipe. This is the windpipe. So see the movement of the epiglottis during swallowing and breathing. See the food is entered. This green color is the food that entering into the esophagus. So whenever during the swallowing, what's happening in the epiglottis? It's closing the windpipe. It's closed the windpipe. So the food do not enter the windpipe. Breathing. So during the swallowing process, the epiglottis close the windpipe. During the breathing process, it become widened and air enter into the windpipe. So it plays a very crucial role. But which one control this movement of epiglottis? Nervous system. Autonomous nervous system. Autonomous nervous system control the movement of epiglottis. It's an involuntary action. We cannot control it. So here we discuss the air enter into the lungs and the carbon dioxide present in the lungs enter the atmosphere. How it is happening? What is the mechanism behind this breathing process? Let us focus on it. So mechanism of breathing. So breathing is a process of inhalation and exhalation. What is inhalation? Breathing in, right? Exhalation means?
Breathing out.
Yeah, breathing out. So in the breathing process, the main role is by lungs. Along with lungs, some more organs also involved. Those are chest wall, ribs, diaphragm. So those also plays important role. You know, here there is a rib cage. You have the rib cage. The rib cage protects the heart and lungs. So what are the parts of rib cage means? There are curved ribs are there. Ribs. If you press here, you can feel that ribs. In front side, they attach to a bone. Here, if you press, there is a bone. There is a mid rib, and the back side, these ribs are attached to the spine. So it forms a box-like structure called as a rib cage. Apart from that, diaphragm. Just above the stomach, there is a muscular structure that is called diaphragm. In female, the ribs plays important role in breathing. In male, diaphragm plays important role. So that the difference is there. Now let us see what changes happen in all these parts during inhalation and exhalation. So first of all, during inhalation, what happens to the chest wall, ribs during inhalation? You breathe in. All of you breathe in once. What happens? The chest wall expand. Right? Expand. So whenever the chest wall expand, the cavity in the chest increases. That means volume increase. Chest cavity. Volume increase. Next, what happens to the diaphragm during inhalation? Just observe here. Okay, what happened to the diaphragm in inhalation? It contracts. Contracts means the diaphragm become flattened. It moved downward. Understood? It moved downward. So the chest move upward direction or expand so that the volume in the chest cavity increase, the diaphragm move downward. That means contract or become flat. So due to these actions, the air pressure in the lungs decrease. You know, air always move from high pressure to low pressure. Since the air pressure decrease in the lungs, the air rushes into the lungs from high to low pressure. Okay, let us see during what happens during the exhalation process. The reverse action takes place. Okay, let us see what happens during exhalation process. Exhalation means breathing out. The actions in inhalations become reverse in exhalation. So what happens to the chest wall? It moves downward, isn't it? It moves downward. That means it contracts. So due to this, the pressure is applied on the lungs. And the volume of chest cavity decreases. And moreover, importantly, you see the change in the shape of the diaphragm. It relaxes. Whenever the diaphragm relaxes, it gets the dome shape. In inhalation, the diaphragm move downward. In exhalation, the diaphragm move upward. So whenever it move upward, it apply the pressure on the lungs. Whenever the chest wall move downward, it apply the pressure on the lungs. So the tissue in the lungs squeeze the air which present inside. That's why pressure increase. As the air pressure increase inside the lungs, it move into the atmosphere. Understood? So once again, see the differences or actions during inhalation and exhalation. In inhalation, the chest wall expand, the diaphragm contracts and become flattened, the volume of the chest cavity increase, the air move into the lungs. Next, in exhalation process, the diaphragm become relaxed and move upward direction, the chest wall move inward. That's why the pressure is applied on the lungs. So the lungs are squeezed and air move out. So this process of inhalation and exhalation is called breathing. Is the breathing rate is the same in all the times? You are in rest now. So breathing is very slow. Right? When you are doing, what happens? When you are doing exercise, what happens? Is the breathing increase or not? Increase. What is the reason? To supply the more oxygen to the body. To do exercise, you need energy. To produce energy, oxygen is needed. To supply the extra energy, extra oxygen should be supplied. That's why breathing rate increases. So the rate of breathing changes based on the age of the person, based on the activity you do. Understood? So in further class, you will learn what happens to the gases that enter the blood from alveoli. How the respiration takes place inside the cell. Understood?